A letter to the one I loved most. I still hear your laugh. You used to laugh every time I snorted. That deep, throaty snort that startled strangers but made you smile like you knew it by heart. You said I sounded like a tractor starting up. Or a piglet with personality. But to me, that laugh was music. It meant I had done my job. It meant you were happy, if only for a second. You laughed when I chased my own tail. You laughed when I tried to bark at my reflection in the oven door. You laughed when I'd roll off the couch mid-nap and act like I meant to. And oh, how I miss that sound. Now the house is quiet. Your footsteps are slower. The couch creaks, but there's no giggle behind it. Still, I listen. Every night. Because sometimes, when you forget and watch our old videos, I hear it again. That sound that told me I belonged. And when it echoes, even faintly, I wag my tail in places you can't see. The day you chose me, or maybe I chose you. You said you were just looking. You didn't bring a leash. Didn't bring treats. Didn't think your heart was ready. But I saw you the moment you walked in. Your eyes were tired. Your hands hung heavy at your sides. You looked like someone who hadn't laughed in a long time. So I didn't bark. I didn't jump. I just stared. Not with need, but with knowing. You crouched down. Hesitantly. I waddled over. Pressed my forehead against your knee. Stayed still. You whispered, "Oh no," but your hands betrayed you. They reached for me. You asked to hold me, just once. And when you did, your shoulders dropped. Your breathing slowed. You let go of something invisible, and held on to me instead. You didn't adopt me that day. You invited me home. To your life. To your routine. To your broken, beautiful world. And I accepted. Our little rituals. We weren't flashy. You and I. No tricks. No matching costumes. No social media fame. But we had rituals. One scoop of kibble. And a spoonful of peanut butter on Sundays. That walk down Fifth Avenue where I'd stop at every tree, just to annoy you. The morning belly rubs. Even when you were late. Especially when you were late. You'd call me, gremlin, when I stole your socks. I'd snort and roll over in protest. And we'd both act like it wasn't the best part of our day. You always gave me the last bite of your sandwich. Even the ones with bacon. And on rainy nights, when thunder cracked the sky, you'd let me climb into your lap, even though I was no lapdog. You'd wrap your arms around me and whisper, "It's just noise, we're safe." But really, it was you who needed to hear that. And I knew, that's what love looked like in our house. Not perfect. Not quiet. But true. Our little rituals. We weren't flashy. You and I. No tricks. No matching costumes. No social media fame. But we had rituals. One scoop of kibble. And a spoonful of peanut butter on Sundays. That walk down Fifth Avenue where I'd stop at every tree, just to annoy you. The morning belly rubs. Even when you were late. Especially when you were late. You'd call me, gremlin, when I stole your socks. I'd snort and roll over in protest. And we'd both act like it wasn't the best part of our day. You always gave me the last bite of your sandwich. Even the ones with bacon. And on rainy nights, when thunder cracked the sky, you'd let me climb into your lap, even though I was no lapdog. You'd wrap your arms around me and whisper, "It's just noise, we're safe." But really, it was you who needed to hear that. And I knew, that's what love looked like in our house. Not perfect. Not quiet. But true. The winter night that changed us. It was far too late for you to be walking through that door. The kind of late when the world has already gone quiet. When even the city hum has given up. Your shoes left a trail of water behind you. Your coat sagged heavy with rain. And your shoulders even heavier with something I couldn't see. You didn't flick the light switch. Didn't call my name like you usually did. You just stepped inside, closed the door without a sound, and collapsed onto the rug in the middle of the living room. You didn't even bother to take your shoes off. You didn't move. You just sat there, drenched. Hollow. Still. I watched from my bed at first, trying to read your silence. But silence has a scent. And that night, it smelled like heartbreak. So I got up, not with my usual bounce. Not with my stubby tail wagging. But slow, certain, with purpose. I walked over and sat beside you. No tricks. No noise. No barking. Just presence. I touched my cold nose to your wrist. Gently. And I waited. And then, barely a whisper above the sound of the rain on the window, you said, "I think I messed up everything." Your voice cracked. It didn't sound like yours. It was small, shaky, almost scared. You didn't mean to say it out loud, but I heard it. Because I always hear you, even when you're quiet, and when your tears finally came, when your chest began to shake and your breath turned uneven. I leaned into you, pressed my head into your chest, matched my breath with yours. No barking, no moving, just being, just reminding you, I was still here. And slowly, you reached for me, your hands, trembling, found my back. That night, you didn't need a dog. You needed a witness, a heartbeat, a soul that wouldn't leave. That was the night I stopped being just your pet. I became your anchor, the steady weight that kept you from floating away. That time with the acceptance letter. You remember, don't you? That envelope had been haunting the mailbox for weeks. Every day, you checked it with a breath half held, hope clashing with fear, waiting to see if all those long nights and whispered prayers had finally paid off. And then, it came. I still remember the way your eyes lit up, like someone had lit a candle behind them. You didn't even open it right away. You held it in your hands like it might vanish if you breathed too hard. Then, standing in the middle of the living room, you opened it, and you screamed, the good kind, the kind that makes your knees give out. You laughed, cried, and danced in a circle like a little kid. You held that letter against your chest like it was a love note from life itself. You placed it gently on the coffee table, like it needed a place of honor. Then you left the room. And well, paper smells a lot like fun to a dog. Especially paper that's been handled with so much emotion, so much joy, so much scent. By the time you came back, it was too late. Shreds of your dream lay scattered like snowflakes across the floor. I was standing in the middle of them, ears down, tail tucked, looking like the world's most regretful paper shredder. You froze, your eyes filled with disbelief. Then fury, then heartbreak. You shouted, you sat down, and your hands trembled. I didn't move. I couldn't. I had never seen you so crushed. You looked at me with those tear-filled eyes. And I braced for rejection, maybe for the first time ever. But then, something shifted. Your lips twitched. And then you laughed. Not a forced laugh. Not a sarcastic one. The real kind. The kind that comes from knowing life rarely goes to plan, and sometimes. It's okay. You laughed until you cried. Scooped me into your lap and said, "Well, I guess we're going together." And we did. You packed your books. I packed my chew toys. We moved to that new city with more dreams than directions. You tackled textbooks. I tackled the mailman. You made friends. I made fans. And every night, we came home to each other. That letter may not have survived. But the life it promised? We built it anyway, side by side, growing older, together. My steps slowed. Your worries grew. I couldn't chase the ball like I used to. Couldn't leap onto the couch. Couldn't keep up on those long walks we loved. But you never left me behind. You got a ramp. You bought me a heated blanket. You shortened your routes, just so I wouldn't have to stop too often. You knelt beside me every night and whispered, "You're doing good, buddy. We'll take it one day at a time." You celebrated every birthday like it might be the last, but filled each one with cake, candles, and silly hats I hated. You never let me feel forgotten, even as the gray crept into my muzzle, even when I slept more than I played, even when the stairs became mountains. You carried me, not just physically, but emotionally, spiritually. You carried my spirit when I was too tired to carry myself. The final day, I knew before you did. You clung to hope like a blanket with frayed edges. But that morning, I didn't get up. I didn't want to eat. I didn't want to move. You curled up beside me, like always. But this time, your breath was shaky. You called the vet. You said, "It's time." But I heard the tremble in your voice. You wrapped me in my favorite blanket. You played that old jazz song I always fell asleep to. You whispered stories, ones I'd heard 1,000 times, but never tired of. You held my face in your hands. And as I looked into your eyes one last time, I saw it all. Every walk, every laugh, every night you kept the porch light on a little longer, just in case I wanted to come back in. You said, "Thank you, but I hope you heard what I was saying too." Thank you for being my person. I never really left. You still feel me, don't you? When you pour your coffee and glance down, expecting to see me curled by your feet. When you leave the door open a crack, like I might wander back in. When you wake from dreams where I'm still chasing you through tall grass. That's not coincidence. That's not grief. That's love. Still alive. Still strong. I'm there when the porch light flickers. I'm there in the seat beside you during long drives. I'm the warmth that passes your ankles on cold nights. And when you whisper my name into the quiet, I hear it, because some bonds don't end. They just shift. I'll still be waiting. I don't know where dogs go when they leave. But if there's a place made of memory and scent and sound, I'll find it. I'll sit in the sunbeam near the door. Tail still, ears alert, heart open, and I'll wait, just like I always did. You know I was good at waiting. I waited for your footsteps after work. Waited for the leash to jingle. Waited for the moment your hand would reach for me like it always did. And when your time comes, I'll know. You won't need to call. I'll hear it in the air. Feel it in the earth. And I'll run to you. Young again. Strong again. Ready to start the next part of our forever. Until then, keep living. Not despite me, but because of me. Adopt again, if you can. Open your heart, even though it hurts. Tell my story. Smile when you see another Frenchie. And when life gets quiet, look for me in the small things. The soft breeze, the curled shadow, the giggle at nothing. That's me, saying, I'm still here, and always will be. Until then, I'm waiting, at the edge of forever.